Farming is essential for producing the food we eat, but it can also have negative effects on the environment. One of the major problems caused by farming is soil erosion, which happens when the top layer of soil, which is the most fertile and important for growing crops, gets worn away by wind, water, or farming practices. Farming can disturb the soil in several ways. For example, ploughing, clearing land, or overgrazing by animals can weaken the soil, making it more likely to be washed away by rain or blown away by wind. Without proper management, farming can lead to large-scale soil erosion, which harms the land's ability to support crops and other plants. Soil erosion occurs when the soil is worn away by wind or water. This is a big problem because the topsoil is where nutrients are concentrated, and once it's gone, it can take a long time to rebuild. When soil is eroded, crops grow poorly and farming becomes less productive. This is especially a problem in areas where the land is already fragile, such as dry regions. Farmers can use several techniques to reduce soil erosion and protect the land. Here are 6 methods commonly used. Terracing. This involves creating steps or flat areas on a hillside to slow down water runoff. The terraces reduce the speed of water, preventing it from washing away the soil. Shelter belts. These are rows of trees or shrubs planted around the edges of fields. They act as barriers to slow down the wind, preventing it from blowing soil away. Contour ploughing. In this method, farmers plough along the natural curves or contours of the land, rather than straight up and down. This helps to slow water flow and prevent soil from being washed downhill. Strip farming. Farmers plant crops in alternating strips, with one strip of plants that cover the soil, such as grass, and another strip of crops. This helps to reduce soil erosion by giving the soil some protection from wind and water. Stone lines. In areas with poor soil, farmers place lines of stones across slopes to slow down water flow and catch soil as it moves downhill. Leave stubble. After harvesting, farmers can leave the leftover parts of plants, called stubble, on the field. This helps to hold the soil in place and protects it from wind and water. In some areas, farming can lead to desertification, which is when fertile land becomes desert-like and can no longer support crops or vegetation. Desertification is a major problem in places like Central Africa, where the land is becoming increasingly dry and unusable. There are 3 main causes of desertification. Increased population. As the population grows, more land is needed for farming and living. This leads to more trees being cut down for space and fuel, which exposes the soil and increases the risk of erosion. Climate fluctuations. Changes in the climate, such as long periods of drought, can dry out the soil and make it more vulnerable to erosion. Commercial agriculture. Large-scale farming for profit often uses a lot of water and chemicals, which can deplete the soil and contribute to desertification. In places like Central Africa, desertification is a growing problem. Increased population means more trees are cut down for fuel and farming, leaving the soil unprotected. At the same time, climate changes, such as long droughts, are making the land drier. Commercial farming uses up valuable water resources, worsening the problem. Solving these problems is difficult, but there are some solutions that can help. Using methods like terracing, shelter belts, and contour ploughing can help to protect the soil from being washed or blown away. Instead of cutting down entire trees, people can use branches for fuel. This helps to keep the trees alive, which in turn helps to protect the soil. Rotating crops and allowing the land to rest can give the soil time to recover, which reduces the chances of it becoming degraded. Reforestation, or planting new trees, can help to protect the soil from erosion and improve the health of the land over time. Farming is vital for feeding the world, but it can also harm the environment, especially when it leads to soil erosion and desertification. By using smart techniques to protect the soil and adopting more sustainable practices, farmers can reduce the impact on the environment and ensure the land remains fertile for future generations.